I hate to ask this question because it's embarrassing. How many of you who are African Americans, how many of you know the African city and country from which your ancestors were born?
Not one hand went up.
One hand went up. I asked this question of 500 whites. How many of you know the city, the country? I was teaching at a university, a white university, just outside of it. Every hand went up. They knew not only the country from which they came, not only the city, but the borough from which their ancestors were. Now, how come they know and none of you know? The reason is that these South Carolina and North Carolina plantation owners went to Germany to find out how they could control our fathers and mothers on the plantation. So they were getting out of hand. They were burning the houses down. They were killing white folks. They were doing everything negative about being in captivity. They were never slaves. They were prisoners of war. They were never slaves. They were prisoners of war. The War of 1591. So what happened was they sought the advice of an expert in Shanghai history. Now, his name was Johann Blumenbach, and he was the head of the Department of History at the University of Göttingen in Germany. And how many of you know this? I know you was taught this in college and everything, on the college folks. Well, when they sought his advice, they said, do they know that they're the Shanghai people? So the plantation owners who traveled over there to seek his advice said, well, of course they know that they come from the great Shanghai Empire. Well, that's your problem. You can't let them know that they came from greatness, from grandeur, from beauty, from sophistication. You'll never be able to control them. So the plantation owner said, well, how can we prevent it? I mean, the mothers and the fathers would tell the children, say, you came from Timbuktu and you came from the city of Jané, and that's where we were born, and then the Europeans came over and invaded us in 1591 and marched us to the seas, to the waiting ship. Man, you can't allow them to learn, teach that to their children. It's why you want to stop it.
Just a tidbit of Black history, which is world history, which is the foundation of all history. And this is to let you know why you don't know what you're supposed to know and why it is so important that they take away DEI, Black history and museums, in schools and everywhere else. In fact, they were so good at their job, they made you hate yourself the way you look, the way that you see things. They made you want to emulate them, the great white father. And guess what? The whole time, they were emulating you and what they saw and took from you. But if you don't have any idea of that, you come around here talking about what you are today. But DNA tells you what you were yesterday. Now, I'm going to tell you something. In the music, operas, and everything else, they have a maestro. He directs all the musicians, and he puts everything together and make it a hit. Something that the opera or the person singing opera can sing by. Well, this is the same thing that happens in our society. We have maestros, but this time they're behind the curtain. But when we got a new president in, they decided to start coming from behind the curtain. Not that you could see them, because they put somebody there that really did not care about you, does not care about you. He doesn't care about people that look like him. If you're not rich, then you must go. And who was the immigrant? But they come here one day and think that they're the citizens that's been here all their life. Somebody asked me the other day, I've been here 4 years. How long have you been here? I had to laugh at that myself. Now, this is important.
You scared people, Huey. The Black Panthers scared people.
Anytime the black man attempts to change the slave image, he will scare white people. So the Black Panther Party, I thank you when you said that we are...
You scared people, Huey. The Black Panthers scared people.
Anytime the black man attempts to change the slave image, he will scare white people. So the Black Panther Party, I thank you when you said that we scared people. That means that we were creating a positive black image for ourselves.
In closing, Huey Newton was telling them, if you don't have a slave mentality, and what is a slave mentality? It's when you disregard what your oppressor has done to you, your ancestors, and everything else. And no matter what, you want to be just like him. You want to look like him. You want to think like him. You want to emulate him. You hate the person that you see in the mirror, and you hate anybody that looks like the person that you see in the mirror. All the while, you have been conditioned to hate yourself, and now that the conditioning is complete, we can even see it in voting for somebody who didn't care for you from the beginning, who was an immigrant himself, a felon, okay? And he could get to the highest seat in this country. Now, I want to talk to you about great actors. We, as Black Panthers, Black Americans, Black whatever you want to call it, scare people. Who do we scare? The Europeans? We don't scare them. They are the ones who went all over the world killing, raping, and stealing from people that didn't even care about gold. They made that, they took out whole civilizations thinking that there was a city of gold, and they wanted everything that was of value, even human cargo. You mean they're scared? Who tar and feathers, put feathers on somebody and runs them out of town? Who hangs people and have a picnic, throw gasoline on them and set them on fire and bring their children and their wives to see it? But you say you scared of us. You're the biggest actors that I know. This lady looks like the same lady that started all that stuff in Tulsa, Oklahoma, talking about the black man looking at her or touched her, and all of a sudden, these gave these people a reason to go and tear and burn down one of the greatest black cities that they had. So when we talk about fear, it is not that blacks are feared by whites. It's whites actually making blacks fear them, because we know what they're capable of doing. And if we don't know, Africa knows, Mexico knows, China, all over the world, they know. And you know how you can really tell? Because who runs this world? Anytime a man tells another man, one president to another president, and he's over here telling him that he has 24 hours to give him 90% of all the resources or gold that he has, that's somebody to be scared of. But not that that man's scared of him. But I'm just telling you, sometimes you need to be scared of the way people think if you don't think like them.